My God, it's full of stars.
All right, so it is.
New Year's
It's
Eve.
New Year's Eve. Oh my God! It's Danny Lloyd's birthday tonight at 12 midnight, the first day of the year, a holiday. So we're gonna we're gonna exploit that, and we're gonna go over a new topic I had not covered at all. And on top of that, we have a special treat for you tonight because Crazy Legs is back in the studio.
You notice he's saying we.
We. And she's sober. So this is gonna be a different. So hang on, let me get okay. So let's talk about something that happened today. Crazy Legs was reading a news story on her phone about a shooting that supposedly happened in Colorado, and I have not researched this at all. And she noticed that the shooting. What time was the shooting?
All right, so the shooting was like this morning. I was reading at about 3 p.m. East Coast time.
Okay, yeah.
It was a story in the Washington Post.
Okay.
And it was telling the story, but it also had a copy of a tweet from Donald Trump in there.
Okay.
Very clearly, Donald Trump's tweet was time-stamped December 31st, 2017, 6:36 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, I was reading it at 3:12
So,
p.m.
when you were in the time machine, going back through time to read Donald Trump's tweet, yeah, this is the kind of stuff that it really makes you, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist when you see causality violations in the news stories. So let's move some of these other windows up here. So we're going to cover a potpourri of fake shootings. And by the way, I don't even waste my time with these anymore. I did waste a lot of time initially with this.
And also tonight, the family of gunman Bester.
And I came to the conclusion that all these things really are distractions. And they're very effective as distractions. Most people are like, oh my God, there was another shooting in Podunk, nowhere. And they have no idea that they're fake. So initially, this is going back into 2012, specifically when the Sandy Hook shooting happened. So here's the infamous photo of the Sandy Hook. Oh, what happened there? Infamous photo of the Sandy Hook shooting. And you notice on 7/20/2012. So this is July 20th. So we're going to, since Heath Ledger was...
Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
Sandy Hook was like December
14th, 2012.
Yeah, so what's this?
Oh, this is not Sandy Hook. This is the Batman shooting.
Oh, okay.
Did I say Sandy Hook?
Yeah, you said
Oh,
Sandy
I'm
Hook.
sorry. No, this is the Batman. I'm sorry. Oh! Okay, so this is The Dark Knight Rises. So this is the premiere of this movie, The Dark Knight Rises, and it's 7/20/2012. Remember that. That's very key. Let's go to a different photo now. Let's go to this. This is going to blow your mind. I don't think I've even showed you this before.
Well, you've talked about.
I've talked about it, but
Batman
now
map.
you'll get this. Now you know how.
Ooh,
Now you know I'm not crazy. So
The
you have
annotated
7/20/2012.
version.
7/20/2012 is the
Okay.
date of the shooting. That's the premiere. So remember, Kubrick's puzzle works on premiere dates, the birthday of the movie. So this is The Dark Knight Rises birthday. Okay, so this is Aurora. Once again, Aurora. We have David Scott's Aurora capsule in the Apollo missions, or in the Mercury missions. So let's go to this map now. This is the map, and it became very, very famous because it had Sandy Hook on it here. This is just the obvious thing to get you to look at the map. There is way more than just the Sandy Hook on here. So we have 7/20. Let's do this. Let's zoom in. And it's probably going to be very, very difficult to read on this video. If you can't read it sufficiently enough, you can go online and do a search for the Bat Map viral marketing map, and you'll find a copy of this. So I'll tell you what. So there's basically streets on here. It says Eagle, Apollo, or Eagle, Moon, Apollo, Kennedy, Armstrong, Collins, and Aldrin. So this is everything to do with the Apollo 11 mission in one area of streets. So you've got the Eagle, you got Moon, you got Apollo, Kennedy, Armstrong, Collins, Aldrin. This map is done in Kubrick style. So how we know when things are topics is certain streets are doubled. So with maps, there's a very important thing you have to follow when you make a map. You can't have the same name street in two different areas of the city. It wouldn't work. So we have Eagle Street right here, which you're probably not going to be able to read. But now we go all the way clear across the town, clear across the town, and we have right here, Eagle Street, right here, Eagle. So we have Eagle Street is doubled. So in Kubrick's language, if it's doubled, it's a clue. So we know we're being pointed to Eagle, Moon, Apollo, Kennedy, Armstrong, Aldrin. So the question is, what was the date of the moon, Apollo 11 moon landing? Do you know that? Do you know?
I'm
Offhand?
guessing it's going to be July 20th.
Wow, you are good. So here we go. Buzz, so here we have the whole thing. Armstrong, Aldrin, July 20, 1969. So Heath Ledger essentially threw himself into the ring with the Minotaur. He volunteered to slay the Minotaur. So he creates this map, and you can do a search on Heath Ledger, Kubrick. His father did like a little video about this, and he actually shows you Heath's diary, and you see pictures of Clockwork Orange in it, and he's giving all these Kubrickian breadcrumbs in his diary because he's using Kubrick's language. Well, I keep calling it Kubrick's language. Whatever. He's using this language. We'll just call it the monolithic language. And so just in this one little tiny area right here, they're giving you the moon landings. But how do you know we're specifically looking for the moon landing date? Because it doesn't really say that here. We could be looking for the moon. What day did they land? What day did they take off? How do we know we're looking for the landing date? Well, we know that because they give us Lunar Avenue right here, the diagonal street, Lunar Avenue. So this will be the lunar landings we're looking for. So this little map here, and I'm not going to go through the rest of it, but there's some really interesting stuff on here. The whole Barack Obama's wife is a man is on here. And that one's fascinating. Let's look at that one for a second because it's so juicy. And of course, Flat Earth is on here. We see Bedford Street. Bedford Street is a direct reference to the Bedford Level experiment. Actually, it's Bedford Boulevard. All the boulevards in this map are keys. So you have Samuel Boulevard, Robotham, Bedford Level. This is the Flat Earth clue. And we've got the crystal ball down here. So Flat Earth is on this as well. Titanic is on this as well. Right here is Titanic. So let's look at Michelle Obama as a man, because it's on this map. So let's go all the way to the left here. I'll just start circling them. We have Gay Street. That's an obvious one, right? We have
Okay.
XY. These are the two chromosomes we're talking about.
Okay.
We have, where is it now? Santa Rosa Street. Barack Obama went to school in Santa Rosa, California. So we have Gay Street, Santa Rosa, Gay Street, and there's one up here that's interesting. It's called Cordy Street. It's very hard to read. This is Cordy Street. You know what Cordy is a nickname for something. Like if you're online and you saw, let's say, let me phrase it differently. You're online on a dating site and you see Joe Schmo space QWERTY.
QWERTY?
It's
Yeah, it's the keyboard.
Yeah, it's the keyboard, but it's also a slang nickname for something. See, this is where you have to research this shit. 'Cause I didn't know this either.
So what is it?
A QWERTY is a queer tranny. It's slang for a queer tranny. So
Wait. See, I always get confused when you're talking about trannies. So how can a tranny be queer?
Because he dresses up like a woman.
We're talking transvestite or transgender?
It's irrelevant. This is a real acronym for
Okay.
a queer transsexual. You can look this up. I'm
I
not making
understand
this
that.
shit up.
No,
It's
I
real.
know.
I mean, people are freaks. They
understand
do a
that.
lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
So we've got gay, we've got XY, we've got an acronym for QWERTY, which is a queer transvestite, transsexual. Now we go down here, we have Badger Boulevard. So Barack Obama, is he all black? Is he really a black man? Not according to his story. He's half black, half white. His mother was white, so he's a badger. He's half black and white. He's got a white stripe down his back. Okay?
Okay.
So that sounds weak, right? That sounds pretty weak because I mean it's grasping. But over here we have Beaver Boulevard. So do you know what the slang term for a beaver is?
Well, you know.
I mean it's a vagina, but that's not the one I'm. There's also if you're a gay man, and like say you're the president of the United States, and you're gay. In order to become president, you're going to have a beaver, which is a fake wife that you don't really sleep with. She's just there for looks. So beaver is another slang term for a fake wife of a gay man. So that's weird, right? Then you find out Michelle Obama's brother coached the Oregon Beavers. You don't want it in the middle of this, sweetie. It's going to ruin it. It will. If you're going to sleep, they're going to go to sleep too. But,
No, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still hungover. I may not be drunk, but I'm a little hungover.
all right.
I'm just tired.
So Beaver, we've got Michelle Obama's brother was the coach of the Oregon Beavers. So you come down here and you have first court, second court, third court, fourth place. He loses his job, Michelle Obama's brother loses his job coaching the Oregon Beavers because they suck. He's a shitty coach. So how do we know we're talking about?
Is that when they became the Ducks? Aren't they the Ducks now?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think so. No, it's the Oregon State Beavers. It's always been the Beaver. They're it's their state mascot is the Beaver. So over here we had Badger. So Badger is Barry. He's half white, he's half black. We have Center Street, Forward Street, and Back Street. Center and forward are both basketball positions. You could be a forward in basketball or you could be a center. But back is not a basketball position.
Well, it's the back court.
No, it's a football position. You have the fullback and halfback.
All right, but there's a
So
back
why
court.
is there a football position on here? Because Michelle Obama was Michael Obama before she was Michelle Obama.
Yes.
And Michael Obama actually was a Oregon Beavers football player. So we've got the halfback, the position she played. We've got there's also Adam's Apple on here. Here we have Adams Street, right? And she still has her Adam's Apple, by the way. And we have an Apple Street here, right here, Apple Street, Adam's Apple. So we've got they're all strewn around the map. But we're given, the gay, QWERTY, Adam's Apple, XY. This one's really good. Do you remember the weigh-in show?
Yeah.
So
Vaguely,
once again,
vaguely.
Kubrick's puzzle language, we always use twins. So on the weigh-ins, you got the weigh-ins brothers, right? One of the things they always did in Living Color is they would dress up as two women, you know, and pretend to be women. So we have Wayne Street. That's a good one. I love that one. And so we have all these little clues to Santa Rosa Street. This is where he went to school. This is Barack Obama. There's a Grover Street up here, which is a Bohemian Grover, is what we're looking for. We have his Pennsylvania addresses on here too, Amsterdam Avenue. You know, it's loaded. Oh, check this out. This is going to blow your mind. So where was Barack Obama from? Where does he say he's from?
Hawaii.
Right, so we got Hawaii right here. We got Maui, Oahu, Maui, Kauai, and Oahu. So we've got his birthplace, and now this one you're probably not going to be able to read. And like I said, if you see this video and you want to look at this map a little more closely, go download it. There's a street right here, S-E-R-T. So do you know what S-E-R-T is an acronym for?
Mm-mm.
School Emergency Response Team. So, you know, this thing is filled with the School Emergency Response Team. Now let's go back to the Hawaii. What was one of the big controversies on Barack Obama and Hawaii in particular? Do you remember?
Well, they couldn't find his birth certificate.
Exactly. No one can find his birth certificate because it doesn't exist. So if we're doing an alchemical map and we're Heath Ledger, and we already know we're probably going to be killed because of the map, we're going to sneak in everything we can in here. So what do we have over here? We have Ariel, Universe, Monaco, Geneva, Arrow, Lipton, Garamond, Sparrow, Standard, and Helvetica. What do they all have in common?
They're fonts.
Yeah, why would there be fonts on here? That's strange, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the birth certificate? One of the proofs it was fake is it had 9 different fonts in it. So, you know, you take the gay street over here, the XY street here, the QWERTY street here, the fonts here, you know, the Hawaii here, the School Emergency Response Team. I wonder if that could they be referring to the Sandy Hook School Emergency Response Team, possibly? You know? Then this is a good one. This one's a little morbid, but we're going to do it. And I scratched it out most of the week. But there's a Broome Street on here, and I believe it's right here. And Broome Street is the street that Heath Ledger dies on. So when he does this map, he knows he's going to die. So think about that. You know, this is a guy that felt deeply enough about this that he was willing to essentially kill himself for it. And the sad part about this is 99.97% of the population doesn't even look at this shit. They don't even know it exists. They don't even know people are screaming at the top of their lungs that, you know. So, and it's full of whiskeys. There's a Sullivan whiskey, all the typical things you're going to find in the Kubrick puzzle will be on this puzzle. And, wait, there was one more here. Oh, so here's the next question. What was Michelle Obama's maiden name?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't remember.
Robinson, right here.
Oh,
Here we go.
yeah.
Robinson, right? Oh, isn't that interesting? So we've got Robinson, and this one is really clever. This is the one I'm going to show you now is more advanced alchemy. And what I did is, because I looked at this, I didn't find this stuff in 3 minutes. I looked at this map for about 4 weeks. So we have Brett Phillips maps. You see this right here? Brett Phillips maps. Now, if we go all the way up here, we have an oddity. It says Brett Phillips map with a period after it, like Massachusetts. That's really weird. So in Kubrick's puzzle, whenever you see doubling or mirroring or twins or palindromes, you're to look into it more thoroughly. So let's take the Collins ask, because this is how Kubrick does it. We split these words apart, okay, into three words. Brett Phillips maps. Now, you're going to give me the answer. Name the most famous people you can think of with the first name of Brett. It could be anybody, just the most Jungian. I don't care who it is, where they're from, what they do. just the most famous, and it's an odd name, so it's a perfect one to do because there's not that many people that have that name.
I'm thinking Brent. I can't think of anyone named Brett. Brett.
It's pretty rare. Yeah.
Yeah.
The person, well, I'm not going to give you that one. All right. Now, Phillips is not a rare one. There's a lot of famous Phillips. Name some of the famous Phillips.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
I know.
I'm like,
Well, you
like
got Wilson
blank.
and Phillips, right?
Okay.
You've got the Mamas and the Papas, which would be Papa John Phillips and Michelle Phillips. Michelle Phillips. So we have a Michelle there, and we have Brett. Brett, Michelle.
But it's Brent, isn't it? Brett Michaels?
No,
No?
it's Brett Michaels.
Brett?
Brett Michaels.
And who's is that a musician? I don't even know.
Yes, he's in a bit. His band is Poison. Because one of the other clue sets in this is, what's his name there? Who's the guy that was poisoned? I can't think of it now. Breitbart was poisoned, so they gave you poison. So the clue to solve this is Brett Michaels, Michelle Phillips maps. So what do you get out of that? Brett Michaels, Michelle Phillips. Michelle is Michael. Oh, it's clever. Michael's Michelle. So if you take the Brett part out, so you got Brett Michaels, and you got Michelle Phillips, and you cover up Phillips, you have Michael's Michelle. That is not an accident. I am sorry.
Okay.
And we're drawn to it because it's tripled and it's changed. It's Brett Phillips, and these are two different fonts. You wouldn't know it unless you looked at it for hours. And then you go back up to the top, and they omitted the P for it because we're looking for the Massachusetts clue for the Boston bombing. But this whole map is a potpourri of all the mass shootings. You know, the school emergency response team. You know, it's loaded with shit. And I'm not going to go into all of it. But let's get out of this one now. That was an interesting one. But the Michelle Obama is a man is all over this thing. And the key is Michelle is Michael. I mean, that's clever. Brett Michaels, Michelle Phillips. So it's Michael's Michelle. Okay. Michael's Michelle. All right. So anyway, so the shooting happens on 7/20, which is the landing date of our lunar thing, which we already saw on the map as well. And this one's good. You're gonna like this one. And let me make sure the camera's still working right now. I haven't even looked at it in a while. Okay, yeah, it's still working. So this girl got shot in the head twice, and her entire family was ruthlessly murdered right in front of her. And the next fucking day, she's on TV. She's happy as a camper. I mean, she couldn't be happier, right? Now, remember, she was shot in the head twice. Tell me if it looks like this girl was shot in the head twice. Tell me if it looks like this girl, stubbed her toe.
Strong. 15-year-old Cassidy Stay suffered a skull fracture and lost part
Now,
of her.
by the way, the story changes. Now it's a skull fracture. The day before, she was shot in the head twice. Now it's a skull fracture. And once again, we don't even see a fucking bandage.
Finger, trying to protect herself from being shot. She is the sole survivor.
So, here's another good one. Do you remember this one? The month anniversaries.
Well, yeah.
This is the Allison Parker one.
Yeah,
So Allison Parker. One of the reoccurring things with all these fake shootings is the people that are doing the shootings, they're professional actors and actresses over and over. Every one of them is. So let's move this out of the way for a second. Oh, there's Gabby. Oh, here's another thing. Do you know what Gabby Gifford's real name is? Gabby Hornstein.
Okay.
So she doesn't use her real name, which I find interesting. That fascinates me. Why wouldn't you use her real name? Let's look at the month anniversary thing. Is this it? Let me see if this is.
Gunman Vesta Flanagan.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, here it is. So let's look at Andy Parker.
Complete this sentence. New Post Honey Nut Crunch Raisin Bran is...
It's a
And there's Andy Barker. So that's her father. He's a professional actor. He does soap operas. I mean, this is from 1982, this commercial. So Andy Parker's been an actor his whole life. This is his daughter, right? And I want to do the month anniversary. Oh man, don't tell me I can't find that.
You just had it up there a few minutes ago.
I did?
I thought you did. Yeah, you were playing it for me.
Yeah, I did. I did have it up. Maybe, no, that's not it. That's not it. Huh, well, let me find it again. It's not that hard. So, Allison Parker gets shot, and she goes on the news with the guy with the red hair, the gay guy with the red hair, trying to pass him off as her fiance. Well, as she's doing this, somebody goes online and finds out she's got a Facebook page, and she's got this picture of this other guy in her Facebook page who makes sense. You know, he's a good-looking guy. He's got a good job. He's got a fancy car, and they're river rafting, and they're clearly a real couple. And so that gets discovered, and the shit hits the fan because, you know. I think this is it. Oh, so let's hope this is it. Let's see, month anniversaries. Oh no, this isn't it.
This is a tribute video.
I don't want to watch this shit. Here it is. There it is. Oh,
I've done more in the 9 months I spent with her than I had done in years prior, whether it was to go hiking, to go to museums, to go to weddings, to go to ball games, to spend
her real fiance looks like a professional football player. The guy's built, he's good looking.
To celebrate the arts.
She's not dating this guy.
To Shakespeare plays and to go to musicals. We didn't have much time during the week to be together, so we made sure that our weekends were jam-packed full of.
I want to see the month anniversaries. And here we go.
I can't let it out of my sight anymore. And you know, John, I've never had anyone who has wanted to create pictures like this for me. You know, we did things together and documented it, and because we were able to do that,
we documented it.
You know, I have this now with me forever. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have any of these pictures. I never would have taken these pictures with any other girl except her. And she brought it out of me. And I hope. And the only thing that I can do to keep her legacy alive every day is that no matter who comes into my life in the future and who is in my life now.
Let's just pause this for a second. He's a news reporter. This is what, you know, he's another professional actor. So he's a professional actor, she's a professional actor, her dad's a professional actor. It's, once again, it's like every one of these fucking things. So, and of course there's continuity errors in the shooting itself. That when you run on the film from the three separate vantage points, it doesn't even fit together because it wasn't done in one take. So let's go back to Sandy Hook. This is a good one. Let's do this. Little Noah Posner. Little Noah Posner. He was tragically, he was one of the kids that did not die in Sandy Hook. He died in Sandy Hook. Let me go back. So this is Noah Posner right here. This kid right here is Noah Posner. So he dies in Sandy Hook. This is the photograph that's used on the United Way donation site, which is miraculously up within hours of the shooting. The donation site is up and running, collecting the dough. That's the real objective is to make as much money as you can off these things. So this is the picture they used for Noah Posner's thing on the United Way site, And of course, we can't know who donated to this. That's been sealed with the Freedom of Information Act. That you can't get around it. You can't see it. It's top secret now. So you fast forward a couple months later, and there's this horrible shooting or a horrible killing in a school in Pakistan at the Peshawar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. And we see the same photograph of Noah Posner in this bombing of the school. We see it in the BBC interview. This is a different poster now. This poster and this one. This is multiple posters of this kid, right? So here's the stupid bitch from the BBC telling you about the killing in Peshawar, right? There he is. That's him. That's Noah Posner. And we have more pictures of the poor people that were killed there. So this woman here, she's Indian, or she's Pakistani, whatever. And she's got a picture of a white kid. It makes no freaking sense, you know? And once again, it's the same exact fucking photo. So what do you know already? You already know that this is bullshit. This is complete bullshit. They're just recycling pictures of, what they did a month ago in a different shooting. They figured no one will ever notice. So even really, without even investigating Sandy Hook, just looking at this glaring, ridiculous thing, you know it's bullshit. You know this is bullshit, and and this one here, this is good. This girl right here, her last name is Sexton. So she's related to the Greenberg family, which is Michael Greenberg and Maurice. Maurice Greenberg is a very wealthy man. And we see doppelgangers for his nieces and nephews and his son and his son's wife. We see people that look identical to them in this Sandy Hook shooting, playing different parts. And let's take a look at, what the hell is the guy's name? Sloppy Sniper. David Wheeler. Let's look at David Wheeler. So David Wheeler, he plays one of the surviving family's fathers at Sandy Hook. He goes on Obama's anti-gun roadshow. He's on the road on the jet with Obama, flying around the country. And he plays Sloppy Sniper in the shooting. This is the same guy. This photograph right here, there are dozens. There's a film of this in HD. And it's David Wheeler. There's no doubt. He even has a blemish in the same fucking spot on his face. So, here he is, Sloppy Sniper. And he tries to keep his face away from the camera when he walks by because he knows people may notice that he's this big fat load. He's carrying his gun by the magazine. See, this is an M16 right here. We don't know if it's loaded or not. He's carrying it by the fucking magazine. This is the dumbest thing. If this thing ever popped out and fell on the ground, he could kill somebody. But he doesn't know how to handle a weapon because he's not in the FBI. He's an actor. So you go, well, how do you know David Wheeler's an actor?
But look, it doesn't even say FBI on his flak jacket.
No. Yeah, you noticed that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? FBI,
Nothing.
Sloppy Sniper. But these guys are actors, too. Don't fool yourself. This whole fucking thing was...
Well, it looks like, those are little Velcro patches on top of...
Yeah.
It's not
And it's very easy to know it's Dave because every picture he's in, he wears this huge phallic ball covering thing, which is a joke. So you'll see him here. You can't see it in this one, but he figured out how to carry the gun now. It's better. And so let's go to Dave. So what are the odds on David Wheeler as a professional actor? Right? I mean, that should be 1 in a million. I mean, we've already got several actors. Oh, wait a second. Yep, he's a professional actor. Oh, damn. Oh, and he was doing anti-gun movies before this. Huh. So, let's see. What was the other? Oh, the other one. Who was the guy in... what was the one that was down in Florida? The nightclub. What the hell was it? The Ace nightclub or the...
I can't remember. Just put Orlando nightclub.
Orlando, yeah. Orlando,
nightclub.
yeah. So Orlando, all the guys that made it on TV, Believe it or not, 9/10 of them are professional actors. So let's go down here. Where's the douche that was on TV? Oh, see, he doesn't even really show up now. Orlando shooting. I know. Well, like I said, these things are a waste of fucking time. If at the level you should be at, you should be able to look at this stuff for 10 seconds and just go, no, I'm sorry, this is pure horseshit. Who is the hero, though?
Oh, wait. Is that James Corden?
Where?
Right here. That's James Corden.
I don't know who the James Corden is.
Oh, yeah,
it's
because
a
he.
tribute,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Just
where?
to know
No,
if that
it was the
for-
guy that was the shooter. The guy that was the shooter here.
Oh.
Omar, hang on. Omar Mateen. That's his
Oh,
name.
yeah.
And I remember. So let's go to Omar Mateen, right? So here's Omar Mateen. You know, he's a thug, man. He's a killer, right? So let's do this. Go back. Oh, his name isn't Omar, though. Or maybe it is.
Yeah, it came right up, so.
No, but his real name isn't Omar Mateen. It's something else. Let's do Omar Mateen IMDb. Because, I mean, he can't be a Hollywood actor, right? There's no way he could be a Hollywood actor. Oh, yeah. He's a Hollywood actor.
Oh.
Yeah, now they don't show his photo anymore. They took his picture down. What a criminal. Yeah, so... Yeah, so it says...
Wait.
It says
no,
June 12th.
Oh, now he's dead. He's dead. Wait, did they kill him that night? Died. Orlando, gunshot wound.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he did. But he's been in several movies. So, and the fucked up thing is, you used to be able to do this and you could get his picture. Now they've edited his photo out of here because they don't want you to know. Oh, yeah, he was the guy that played the fucking guy in the Orlando shooting. So Omar has been in two separate movies. He's a professional actor. So you start putting these things together and you go, what are the odds on every one of these shootings is a professional actor or an actress, or the killer is a professional actor, or the dead kid shows up dying in a different fucking country a few months later on BBC. And you know, the BBC it's full of shit. It's worse than CNN if that's even possible. I don't think that's even possible, and I think that's it. I don't know. You got any other? But you had your weird thing today where you saw the date was wrong, and yeah, that's what happens. And Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You were so quiet in this one. You got to drink more for the next
I
video or
know.
something.
Where's the alcohol?
Let me stop the camera. Before we get accused of saying something you're not supposed to.